Welcome to this latest video from DPP Planning. During the COVID-19 pandemic, lots of areas of the economy, society and business have been affected, none more so than the planning system, and in particular how consultation events are undertaken. Joining me today is Michelle Davies, Director at DPP Planning, who's going to talk about how the planning consultancy has undertaken consultations in this time and what it means to the planning system in general. Michelle, hello.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi. So, can you tell us what experience does DPP have in running online consultations during the pandemic or maybe even before?
Yeah, well, we were lucky at DPP in that we have a Cardiff office, and in Wales, pre-application consultation has actually been a statutory requirement since 2016. In England, it's encouraged and it's best practice, but it's not actually a legal requirement. Whereas in Wales, you have to carry out a consultation for a full 28 days before you submit your application for any major development, and that's really most of our schemes, so we're caught by that. So as a result of that, over the last few years, we've developed a web-based consultation process already, which meant we were then in a position in England to be able to convert very quickly to that process at the start of the pandemic. It's a fairly simple process. We have a page on our website which hosts a direct link to whichever the consultation event is. So it's very easy for people to access. And in England, we had a planned event on the 25th of March for a school extension scheme in Derbyshire. So that was obviously 2 days after lockdown formally started, but the week before that, we thought that lockdown was almost certainly on its way. So we were able to adapt very quickly. And so all of the letters that went out to local residents and stakeholders were tweaked, basically, to give reference to the website. And we were able to convert that into an online consultation really, really quickly, which started on the 25th of March, which is when the event would have been, but then carried on for a lot longer. So we've actually been really busy during lockdown, which is good. And so far we've done 11 consultation events in England and Wales, and we've got more that are in the pipeline for June and July. We've also had a couple of major redevelopment schemes in Carlisle and Durham, where the councils have hosted those information portals themselves, but we've been able to input into the material for those.
And how have the local authorities reacted to the need to move to things online? Have they been receptive to it in general, or have they been challenging?
Yeah, we've certainly not had any adverse feedback from councils on any of our online consultations. Of course, councils themselves have had to adapt really quickly, and national legislation was brought in to enable virtual planning committees and so on. So I think they rapidly adapted themselves, and indeed they are doing virtual consultation for a lot of their plan making processes at the moment. So we've not had any pushback or challenge from authorities on our methodology.
And what about engagement from the public and stakeholders themselves? Has there been increasing engagement, or has there been any pushback from the public about not being able to access consultations online?
Certainly not in any of ours. We've not had any adverse feedback on the consultation itself, and we've definitely had a higher level of feedback, particularly on some of our schemes, which in all honesty sometimes people aren't very interested in. And we've had lots of physical events where we'll be there for hours on end and maybe 2 people turn up. So definitely we've had more interest as a result of the online process on some of our schemes.
So do you think that this will become, it's a phrase that everybody's using, the new normal, but do you think this will become the new normal in terms of how consultations are run? And if that's the case, how do we make them more inclusive?
Yeah, I think that the new normal, as you say, and I think it'll be quite some time before we get to that, for things like this, where it's not actually essential to gather people in a room. But I think the new normal, as and when it starts, will probably be a mix of the two. I think a lot of our developer clients have tended to shy away from social media in the past, but in actual fact, social media is quite an organic thing. So we have a discount food store scheme at the moment, which is going to be a live planning application next week. We did that as an online consultation during May, we've had a huge amount of interest and a huge amount of support, but that's also been fed by things like the local ward members posting it on their Facebook page. So social media itself starts to spread the news of a scheme, which then gets interest from people who aren't maybe directly affected by it, but think it's a good idea. So I think a mix of the two. The key thing that we've kept sight of during this is that you have to be inclusive, and the government in its forthcoming environment bill is looking at digital enhancement and defines digitally disadvantaged people. So we have to be sure that we're reaching everybody. So all of our events have been backed up by letters in the post to a fairly wide range of people, with all the material in there in hard copy, with contact details. And we fielded quite a few phone calls from people on various of our events asking for more information. So I think it will be a mix going forward, because the beauty of an online event is, A, that it lasts a lot longer, so you can run it for a month and it gives people far more opportunity. And also it's less intimidating than walking into a room full of property professionals, which is often the case with a physical event. So I think it will be a mix going forward, and I think that's a good thing.
Thank you. Yes, it was very interesting. I think it does show where the planning industry is moving, but particularly how DPP is responding and proactively responding as well. Michelle, thank you very much for your time, and I'll speak soon.
Thanks, Jamie. Bye.